information that I can bring back to our community, and especially about very important issues like local economies, all that stuff. So.
Right. AFP is putting on a bunch of different workshops that with experts from all over the country. A lot of activists for AFP are also on panels. Not to pat myself in the back too much, but I was AFP's Activist of the Year last year.
You were? Oh my goodness! Congratulations!
And so I said, guys, how come you didn't ask me to be on some of these panels? I'd love to. So we're going to try to get that in.
Basically, I didn't know that. That is so great. Good for you.
Well, thank you. And I said, what some of the folks that have won these kinds of awards, because they give them out in different categories, put them together on a super panel, because you awarded these people all these honors. Now put them to work.
Use them. Oh my. Well, see, that's where you got a lot of your good information. My goodness, because you're on top of everything. I don't know how you do it.
Well, I have a very patient wife. I'm hoping that she's listening right now. I'll check my email yesterday. But she oftentimes goes with us to these different events, helps out with the camera work. And she hears the comments back from people who don't know. They come up and say,
I had a $9 exam.
Sees the value in it. So, pretty much when I'm not working on the keyboard at night, I'm tapping on the keyboard for this kind of stuff. So yeah, in order to be a successful blogger, you have to be very current on all the kinds of stuff.
You don't miss much. I have to say, looking at the Grok, you don't miss much.
Well, I am very, very honest.
There's a luncheonette across the street. Where the exam would
give a volunteer time to keep us up, because they realize that we are all in a cold civil war. And in fact, you have just enlisted in the army of this cold civil war.
Yes.
And it really is, because there are two diametrically opposed philosophies at work. I think this started, I consider 2020 a holdover action. It's put sand into the gear. I think that helped. A lot of bad things that have happened both here in the state and down in DC. Critics call it gridlock. I call it the Constitution at work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Down in DC. It worked as it was meant to. And the progressives call it gridlock only because
they can't get what they want. Absolutely.
Up here in New Hampshire, we saw a lot of involvement in power under Bill O'Brien, who is here, who promised that he's going to stop by later on.
Yeah.
So folks continue to watch. We'll be tweeting out. I'm talking. Once I ask my questions, I do have a question with this long run up here.
Oh my.
And I do apologize for kind of dominating, but I'm trying to set you up.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Set you up in a nice way. But the New Hampshire House, New Hampshire Senate, we're doing a lot of good things in the legislature last time. We've already gotten a hate column by a young whippersnapper to whom I will be replying to, because I think that he took unfair advantage of you and got a lot wrong. Just a big blunt. You know, if you're going to write, at least be get your facts straight.
Right. Well, you know what? Maybe it was the editors more than we were the editors. This was obviously a very young guy, and writing from the heart. And sometimes when we do things from the heart, our facts get a little bit muddled, and that's where I think the editors of the paper need to actually verify some of the information. I don't know. Is that right, or am I just like?
Perhaps. Because we're talking about an article as the Citizen, just editorial, and yes, the Citizen probably tends to try very
Maybe they did read it, right?
Maybe they did. Maybe they let it go on. So we'll see. What GraniteGrok will have in response.
Sure you will, Skip. I have every faith.
She can tell by the glint in the
Absolutely.
eyes.
They get really wide.
No. So, anyways, the first question is, what kinds of things did they pass that you liked? And then what are some of the things that didn't pass that you wish that they had? And would you be willing to take up that path?
Okay, right to work, you wish had passed. And I will be more than happy to help with that. And actually this little breakaway session that we had was how local issues drive economic growth, and a large part of that were concepts, so, the theory behind the Right to Work campaign, and I got an awful lot of good information about that. 72% from the statistics I've seen in New Hampshire are for Right to Work. So the population is for it. It's a fair thing to do, but it didn't get done in the last session. And I would be happy to jump on any platform and go out there with the correct facts and help plug that, because that's got to happen. It's major league, and we can't have a monopoly happening with labor unions. It's stifling everything. The thing, I think I'm really happy that partial birth abortion is outlawed. I think that one I really was hoping that would pass. That's such a basic. My goodness, who could actually vote for that? How could Lynch, try to overturn that?
Actually, I could say exactly why. There are, we are often called as Tea Party extremists.
Yeah, extremists. I love that. Why? Because we believe in life, especially life that's outside the womb.
Well, also unborn children, because I'm quite sure that
absolutely.
we believe that the potential for being human exists in the and only those extreme ideologues who believe abortion should be available at any time, anywhere,
Birth
and
control.
everybody else has to pay the cost. We're seeing that with
right after I got my
Obama. Now, basically, Obama and the Secretary of State have decided that we will redefine religion to be only that which takes place within the church's walls.
Oh, I should have
And that if you have a ministry that helps other people
live on the lady up there.
in worse circumstances, whether they are their faith or not, they're excluded from being a religious institution. The first time in this country's history that has happened. So that, when you've got that kind of extremist ideology, and that really is, because it runs counter to I have the Constitution right here in front of me, both the U.S. and the New Hampshire one. I have the New Hampshire one right here. It goes with me everywhere. But I will read Amendment 1, which we need to be cognizant of in New Hampshire as well. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. I think that there's already been one case. Some HVAC Catholic owners, they said, this goes against our religious objections, and they were awarded an injunction against the...
They won?
They won that.
Oh, was that in Denver recently?
I believe so.
That's right.
Last week.
That's
now,
right.
It's going to continue on. This is just the first step.
Right, and the Catholic Church has had the Defending Our Freedom, campaign going on that has really spoken to their, to the Catholics in this country and beyond, that pay attention, we're losing our religious right here. We should not have to support something that is against our own religion. And I think perhaps that the Obama faction there underestimated what that was going to be. I think they thought they could push that through just because.
And it's really been pushed by a lot of that is a Catholic. But Wheaton College has joined in. There's been several other Protestant schools that have joined in now, because it goes against basically a Christian culture.
Absolutely. The Black Baptist Church in this nation, in a high percentage, is against this. And they were supposedly the key supporters of Obama. And down south, this week, they're having a rally in a very large church, black church down south, to step up and say, no, this isn't right. This is not the kind of intervention we want from our government. And this is his voting bloc.
So basically, when you come to the voters, it's very clear that you are a right-to-life type voter.
Yeah.
You don't believe in certainly partial
That's just our
partial abortion. Yes, I'm sorry.
It's been a long night.
I need more mouth. But do you support abortion in any format at any time?
In the life of the mother, I guess, that's the exception, that if there had to be one, if you had to make a choice, tough thing to think about. If I think that having my children had the choice come down, I would have made sure that they chose the child, but that's me. That's not.
It's always the interesting argument between those because my wife holds the same value that she does.
I think most moms do. Absolutely.
And dads go.
I know, and that's where it gets hard to make that distinguish when you say, that particular choice is difficult because a lot of times the dad does go there.
Absolutely, I can have another child. I can't get another.
Okay, well, see there. So that for me is more of the factor of why I think the mother's life is important because it does involve the dad there. It's a two people kind of thing there.
And that's an important point because current culture, current liberal philosophy says it's only the woman's choice to choose, and yet it was a choice made by two people to engage in an activity
Absolutely.
that would actually come up with a life.
That's right.
And
I think that is so illogical that it can be, well, it's my body. Isn't that nice? Well, if it's your body, then let's take that logic. It's your body. Doesn't that baby have a body too? What happens to the baby's body, right? I mean, if we're going to objectify and say that the woman, well, it's my body, and so I can kill this baby if I don't want to have it, okay? Well, what about the baby's body? Isn't that a body too? The logic of it is silly.
well, then it gets even more complicated because if the father of the child decides I don't want to have to say, and then they are on the hook most likely for supporting their child.
Right.
Like may not want to. The mother. Now we're almost beating this to death, so I'm going to go on to some other stuff.
Sure.
Broad-based taxes. We certainly have a couple that are in place already. Look at Joe like those are broad-based taxes. But the ones that we normally talk about are those of the sales tax. And we also talk about income tax.
Yeah.
Now, for those who have sufficient savings, there is a dividends and savings income tax. So certainly, businesses through the BET, business enterprise tax, in New Hampshire, business profits tax, means that while the businesses write the check, we are all paying that tax because that's what it costs.
Right.
Joe, you're number one in my book. You're the highest rating I got. Number 5.
One of the Democrats for governor,
Number 5.
Kennedy, has come out to say, I support an income
He's
tax.
sexy and he knows.
Jackie Silly is that we need to put that on the table. We're the only one.
They're both crazy.
Well, they're not crazy
Well,
according
they
to
are
their
in New
line.
Hampshire because you know what? We have no sales tax here. We have no income tax here, and it's going to stay that way. Do they think the people, even their supporters, are going to go rah rah? Let's add taxes.
They do.
Well, maybe
They
a
do.
portion.
That's the point.
I wonder about that. I really do. I wonder if that's just a lot of mist and smoke and mirrors because they want you to believe that everybody and the people on the left would actually support that. So you probably know better than I. You really think there's a large portion of the left in this state, in New Hampshire, that would say, okay, tax us.
Yes.
Wow, I'm shocked at that.
I am not.
Because I know Democrats that don't want it.
And there may well be. But here's the situation, and the reason why I asked the question. I believe that the House is going to be more evenly divided than what it has been in the last 4 sessions because you had a high Democrat majority in 2006, 2008. 2010, the Republicans took over and swung the needle all the way around the other way. And now you've come back, and I think it's going to be almost dead. I think there's going to be a Republican majority, but I don't think it's going to be that huge. And I could see a lot of Democrats and some of the rhinos, Republican in name only, folks getting together and saying, well, we're going to put a Speaker of the House in, and Bill O'Brien will be showing up with a lot of folks, as I said before. I'm watching the clock going, okay, Bill. But there is a possibility that if Democrats, they may well take over the Senate because of so many retirements in the district. A lot of good people. If they happen to put in a Democratic Speaker of the House and one of the dubious duo, either Silly or Passive, get in, we could end up with an income tax.
I don't think that that's going to happen. No, I really don't. even
where would you stand on the issue?
I would stand that we, first of all, fight to keep Bill O'Brien Speaker of the House. We fight for that one. And I would stand, as having anyone, whether you're in the process or not, trying to get people educated as to what that choice is going to mean, what the bottom line is going to mean to them if we get a Democratic governor in that seat again. And also, I think the House has to really start playing up the good things that happened the last 2 years, because there were lots of things in their favor under the New Hampshire mandate. And so we have to get up and start moving around, shaking people up. And I don't agree with you, Skip. How's that?
That's fine.
I'm new to this process, and yet I can say I don't agree with you, right? You just love freedom. In my inexperience, I'll say. The little bit that I'm talking and speaking and having meet and greets and stuff in Alton, there is a small portion that's really hard that will hit you hard left. But I'm finding that the left, even though across the nation, it's we're hearing that Obama in some polls is still double digits ahead. I think that left is a lot more attainable than we think. I think it's soft. And I think if we're clever and logical about how we present the case, I think there's more independent that lean left that we can push right. I really do believe that, and I think that there's a large segment that would have you believe that it's more hard left than it is, because it's to their benefit. If they just keep throwing it on, everybody wants this, so you can't do it without that. But the people are catching on to that. They're catching on that just because you say it doesn't mean it's true. I think a lot of people are catching on, even if they're not in depth on the issues.
Well, we're going to find out. Certainly, it's an interesting time now. My clock saying, and I know how excited we saw each other. I started broadcasting. So excited we have a couple of these workshops. I don't want to keep you from one of those workshops because we can always do this back.
Great, absolutely.
So if you've got a scoop, by all means.
It's getting close to that time.
Okay, see, I've got your best interest at heart.
Thank you.
But it really is good to see somebody in your spirit and your attitude. Take no prisoners word talking. We need more plain spoken people like you in the House. I think that's why GraniteGrok was proud to endorse you.
Thank you.
I've listened to your speeches, but we still have to sit down. I wouldn't say speeches, but the answers to the questions. We need to sit down and do point by point where you are. We're just kind of shooting the breeze here.
Absolutely. Because we can.
Because we can, and the most esteemed wife is letting me go.
Oh my, she's a good girl. It's Barbara, right?
It is Debbie.
Debbie, I'm sorry.
And she is listening on the live stream.
Hi, Debbie.
I do love you, and yes, I miss you. And those just aren't of the obligatory words.
I'm sure.
We just celebrated our 31st wedding anniversary.
Wow, congratulations.
So it's a long time.
My goodness, you guys don't look old enough to have been married that long. Oh my goodness, 31 years? Wowie zowie.
It's something that doesn't happen too often on a passing because I know you're packing up. The success of a marriage is the ability to say there is no secure as divorce.
There you go.
And absolute 100% commitment.
Commit to commit. There you go.
There is no.
You've discovered. You've discovered what it is.
We didn't discover it. It got beat into us.
Whatever it is, it's good.
Well, very good. Jane Cormer running for the New Hampshire House in Alton, Barnstead, and Bloomington.
Correct.
Belknap 8.
Correct.
If I remember. See,
That's correct.
This old dog learns stuff, right?
Absolutely. You're listen, I'm your biggest supporter here. I can't believe what's in there.
And we wish you well. We'll be meeting up with you. And Jane has this idea of she's going to be putting on a conservative forum for all the conservative Republicans that are in the Lakes region.
Correct.
So from Meredith, from Guilford, from Alton, all over.
Barnstead.
And GraniteGrok is going to be there. We'll be live streaming, and we're going to be asking for this.
And it's going to be fun. People should know it's going to be a fun atmosphere. There's free food. We're going to have games, pony rides. Bring your family. We love to meet people.
And you're going to sing for us, right?
I'll probably sing something, yes.
Oh, good. She's trained officer. So, Jane, I want to say thank you for taking
My pleasure. Thank
lots
you.
of time with GraniteGrok this morning.
My pleasure.
GrokTV.